And the broadcast is live. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the Calcio Bar Sport Talk Room, however we want to call it. We still didn't figure out after more than 10 weeks, but we will do it at some point.
We should launch a poll and ask the people.
What's your favorite name for the Cult of Calcio blubbering session? Yeah, guys, give us a moment.
I am team Bar Sport. I like Bar Sport a lot.
Yeah, I think today I feel like my mindset is Bar Sport. You will see. Today I'm just Bar Sport.
I'm more bar than sport, actually.
I know what's coming.
I'm more bar than sport. Yes, that's true.
Well, if I look at the jerseys that those two guys are wearing, Diego and Paolo, then yes, I am a bit scared of what's coming. So let me divert the topic, straight away. Just to begin with, let's do our quiz because we have a lot to talk about and not much time today.
Yep.
So let's get warmed up, and I'm counting on Carlos to guess this one because so far he proved to be the best mysterious guesser in the Cult of Calcio.
I froze out. I couldn't see you guys, but I'm happy to be back live. I'm really happy about that.
We can see you, by the way.
Okay, well, I'm beautiful. I have a nice jersey.
I think that
most
is
beautiful. Well, it's colorful. Come on, dude. He's colorful. And then it's pasta. It's pasta, and we are Italian, so we eat pasta, we eat pizza. This is the country of pizza. This is the country of pasta. The city. And actually, it's a country. It's not even a city. Sorry, Matteo.
No worries. No worries. I mean, while you talk, I'm going to share some real-time, unexpected circumstances. My screen froze, so I don't know anything what's happening. And I don't know if I'm sharing or I'm not sharing at this stage.
We're getting attacked by the networks. Maybe once.
Yeah, they're probably supporters of Real Madrid supporters. They don't want. They are like.
I have to say that
Carlos.
I have to say that you froze in a really nice impression of
you
your
look better.
face.
You look better froze. You look better froze. Like this.
Isn't that creepy?
Nah, well, it's nice. It's nice.
Okay, and I don't know what's going on. I really have no idea of what are you guys seeing. It's a bit creepy.
A smiling face.
I will take a screenshot. So. Then we can use this as a cover.
Okay.
And you will see it.
I will use it as a background.
Yeah, of course, it's going to be there.
The sharing thing really did something to my computer today. So I can continue to talk, but perhaps we'll need to move the quiz a little later today in our screen, in our menu.
Okay.
Well, but
let me see if I can help you somehow to. No, I cannot. I mean,
in the meantime, perhaps we can start talking about. We're just buying time here. We want to do the quiz, but really, today's topic is a different story, right?
Yes,
I'm afraid so.
Is it?
Oh yes, I think so.
So I write this.
There is this big match. Oh, come on, there's this big match,
I write this wonderful article about Gattuso shaving and getting ready for. I'm not kidding. This is serious. This was one of the biggest national newspaper in Italy. I'm not gonna say the name because I don't want to, but. So I read the nice shaving style of Gattuso, new hairstyle of probably Cristiano. Yeah. And let's see, Osimhen. He will probably show up with a new
maybe with red hair instead of
no, I don't know. But yeah, tonight, what's the match again? Spezia Milan.
Spezia Milan, no? Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice match.
Oh, yeah.
That's
look how happy! Look how happy is Matteo to talk about Spezia.
It's true. It's true. yeah, indeed. Wow. So
it's a big game, isn't it? Yeah, Spezia Milan. Of course, we need to win to keep maintaining.
Oh, Matteo, we lost Matteo.
When we started talking, about the best.
Finally, my hackers did the job. Finally.
No, so tonight is tonight actually is 6 o'clock in the afternoon, Central Europe time. There is this interesting match, let's say like this, between.
It became a classic, by the way. We can
It's a
say
classic. For Napoli people, I think it's a classic. Yeah.
How do you? There is a name for it, like Classico, like Derby d'Italia, like Derby della Madonnina. Like, is there
Not
a name
yet.
for it, Juventus Napoli? Or?
I wouldn't say so.
No, I don't think so.
But
I never heard.
In the last 10 years, I mean, Napoli and Juventus were always like the big top runners for the Serie A. So more than Inter and Milan, I would say.
And where is the rivalry coming from? Like, if you have to go back in time, this Napoli, Juve Napoli, this hatred, where is it coming from? Does it have any specific reason, a specific game, a specific route? Or?
Well, there are many situations why it's controversial. Surely it's connected to really old stuff like the capital of Italy. Both Torino and Napoli were capitals. It's something, Napoli, it's really close with a mindset like Barcelona. It's really like the team, the club for the people, for the folks. And Juventus for us is, is the boss. It's the big company behind.
It's like the final boss in a video game, no? It's like the worst
in Italian, indeed. In Italian, you would say like il padrone. We see like Juventus as il padrone, the boss, in that sense. But when it comes to football, I mean, it's.
I think that more than a sport rivalry, like it was not like so much in the past, like because also Napoli had some troubles in the late 90s. But I mean,
troubles.
You don't remember.
I have no idea what are you talking about. 2006, right?
I'm not talking about our troubles. I'm talking about your troubles. But anyway,
it's more nice there because in 2006 we were making to the second league.
But since we came back from the hell, I think that the clashes were more between Juventus and Napoli at the top level of Serie A. So I think that the rivalry is really recent. So there's no specific episode, I would say. But for example, we are collecting them. We're collecting them, like the first leg match this year. That was one of the things that boosted the rivalry between the two teams. But it's not like an historical thing, like for example between I don't know, Fiorentina and Juventus, which is actually felt only on one side, and it's the purple side, or Lazio and Roma, or.
I guess the question would be how, back in time, Juve became El Padrone, because they are not in the capital city, they are not in Milan, which probably is the financial city of Italy. How, from, let's say, a smaller place, smaller city, Juve became El Padrone? How this happened?
I have two names for you, Giovanni Agnelli. That's it.
Yeah,
I think that's when they become their padrone.
But it's huge, right? That one guy managed to make the boss in a city, let's say. It's like here, I don't know, if someone tried to break this Real Madrid-Barcelona thing and there's a third team coming in, it would be difficult. No matter how much money you have, I think it would be almost impossible to crash into that. Because at the end of the day, geographical situation is very important in football. So, very, very important. That's why, for example, these new bosses buy teams in cities like Paris, because they know this city support will add an extra value to the club, obviously. So, because if you consider the city, for example, this is something I get from the capacity of the stadium of Juventus. It's, if you think about all the top 10 teams in Europe, Juventus have a very small capacity, a small stadium. So, which means it's also coming from a smaller city in population, right? That many of the
I think that there are some marketing reasons behind that, for sure. Also because they wanted to restore the stadium and make it as a like the English way of doing stadiums with all the museums, stores, and stuff inside. But I think that the Real was way bigger than the Juventus Stadium in terms of capacity.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. It was actually an Olympic stadium, let's say, because they also have like the running lane. But I think that the real domination of Juventus came from the moment in which the Agnelli family started to lead that. And Agnelli family in Italy, it's kind of a super leading and influential family.
Indeed.
Also because they are the founders,
and from many point of views, indeed.
Yeah, the Fiat family. They are the Fiat family, and Fiat in Italy has been like the leading industry, the leading company for a lot of years. So that's also where the influence comes from, and all the episodes in the 80s and the 90s that we know the Dominion.
But Carlos, if you want an episode, sorry, Paolo, but if you want an episode, I would say like probably everything started when Napoli got Maradona. I know I go back to Maradona, but that's the real situation. But then we have also, well, there is like the kind of rivalry between Maradona and Platini. When that's where the more or less everything started from our side towards Juventus. But then we have cases of players going from Napoli before Higuain, going from Napoli to Juventus, and we have like, for example, one is really famous, which is even earlier, Savoldi. Savoldi, it's Cora Ingrato in Napoli because of he went to the enemy. So you get several situations. So
now the question, what's the biggest game, the biggest rivalry in Italy? Because in some other countries it's very obvious. Immediately you know this is the game of the country. But in Italy,
I have one. Italy, it's everyone against Juventus.
Yeah,
and I think Paolo can confirm. There is Inter, Juventus, Lazio,
Milan,
Roma.
Juventus. But Milan, Juventus, for example, they are more against each other in terms of
because you're underdog there. Because AC Milan win
for
in
the
Italy, they win in Italy, but they also win outside of Italy. So you are underdog there, and I'm sure Matteo.
I wouldn't say underdog.
I'm sure Matteo can confirm that. Welcome back, Matteo.
Oh, absolutely. I can totally confirm that. Whatever that is.
So basically,
it was in your favor, It was in your favor. So
yeah. I was actually taking part of your side. So Carlos asked the question: what is the biggest, how do you say, rivalry in Italy?
In Italy, because everywhere else,
I said.
In everywhere else, what is the classical, the biggest game in the league, right? It's very immediately you will say it, but in Italy it's not that obvious. So
I think also Spezia Juventus would be like really felt, but just on one side.
Black and white derby.
Yeah, black and white derby, but it would be always on one side. Like for example, the Fiorentina rivalry, it's really, really felt in Firenze, in Florence, but it's not really felt in Turin at all. Like on the Juventus side, they're like, meh, okay, fine. But instead of in Fiorentina, for example, there is like a ritual for people from players that are coming from Juventus. They like make this laundry session. No, they basically pour on you water and give you like a sponge so that you can clean yourself of the sin that you have been playing for Juventus. It's a ritual that they do every time for a player that comes from Juventus to Fiorentina. There's nothing on the other side. Like Chiesa, Bernardeschi, Quadrado never did something like that because it's.
Yeah. No, I was talking more about the game that stops the country. That's the question. The game that.
I don't think there's one.
Stops the country. No.
Either there are several ones.
Yeah. So I don't know what you guys were talking about before. I had my little technical issues. Little, yeah, just more. Like my computer crashed totally. I think there was a point when I said something, and then I hear silence, and I say, "Oh my God, what did I say now? Did they get mad at me or what?"
We kick you out. You don't know it was not a technical problem.
There's like a vocal recognition on StreamYard. They really banned you for this. Like this, you said Spezia, and then.
Oh my God! Okay. But okay, the biggest rivalry in Italian football. So for sure, Roma-Lazio is a big one.
I always say Roma-Lazio, like in terms of
Roma-Lazio, it's probably I would say the most vicious. I think Roma-Napoli also. It's quite a big one.
Yeah, not more than Roma-Lazio.
Let's make it more scientific. what's the game per year in the last 10 years that has more TV viewers? Because I checked this.
Napoli-Juventus. Napoli-Juventus.
Worldwide.
In the last 10 years?
In the last 10 years, yes. In the last 10 years,
TV
yes.
viewers. Well, I'm not even sure TV viewers is it's the best indicator of a rivalry, because probably a lot of people are watching Inter Juventus or Juventus AC Milan, and those are rivalries, but they are also big teams playing.
Yeah.
But I mean, what happens in a derby della Capitale, especially the bad ones, unfortunately, it's nowhere to be seen in Italy, I guess. I think only Roma Napoli could match that level of bitterness.
Right after that, but I think that the top one, it's you're right, it's Roma Lazio. You also talked about this on our website on the Cult of Calcio. When there was like the anniversary, if I remember correctly, of that really shameful episode when they stopped the derby.
Exactly, because the supporters.
I think that's the best. The worst maybe in terms of clashes that we have in Italy. In Serie A.
In Serie A, I think there's also some other games like Palermo and Catania in Sicily. That's also a very heated regional derby. It's not been played in Serie A for quite a few years, but that's also very bitter, I would say. And then if you check in the underground of Italian football, you will find a lot of local regional derbies.
There's another clash. There's another clash between me and Diego, because there is like a really hard clash in last 10 years between Pescara and Verona, for example.
Okay, hold on one second. Verona Pescara, I would pick Pescara. So where is the rivalry there?
Okay.
I would never pick.
On the okay.
No,
so
Pescara at least. No. Pescara is linked with Lorenzo Insigne. So
okay.
No.
Good to know.
Yeah, no, nothing. Hellas Verona, no. No, it's
what about
Hellas Verona?
Go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that Hellas Verona is like Juventus for me.
Okay.
Now I got it.
So it's pretty difficult to make it. Yeah.
But so, I mean, what did I miss while I was struggling, while I was fighting with my computer? So who's going to win the big match of today? And no, I'm not talking about Spezia.
We were talking about Spezia. Who is going to win tonight? I don't know. What I think when it comes to Juventus is that, and we know that every team generally gives more against Juventus because it's the team to beat. If you beat Juventus, you're the star of a night. Nevertheless, Napoli situations, it's a pretty drama. There's a lot of drama going on among Napoli, and that is surely not helping the team. A lot of important key players will be missing the match due to COVID, due to injury, due to whatever reason. But there are too many reasons.
They're late for the bus.
Yeah, and the Juventus. When I look at Juventus, I've been watching the last games of Juventus, the last matches. The mindset of Juventus is growing. It's growing in the right direction. So if I took these two variables, so the mindset of Napoli and the mindset of Juventus, on paper there should be no story. Juventus should make it really easily against Napoli, and I might even predict many goals against 0 goals. But
let me disagree on this. You are totally right on the drama that Napoli is going through. Mm-hmm. And a lot of players will be missing, and key players will be missing. And for Juventus, on paper, let's say, would be easier. We also have some missing players, I would say. But for sure, Fagioli. No, apart from kidding, I would say that for us, on the paper, it's for sure easier.
Okay.
And I foresee, and now I'm jinxing it in a big time. I foresee, I'd say a victory for Juventus, but not with a lot of goals. So say also because statistically, a draw is like the less likely thing to happen.
Yeah.
And given the situation, and given also the incognite, let's say the unknown way of Juventus this year, even if, as Diego said, we are becoming more a team, more I would say productive in terms of success. I will say that it's not that I wouldn't give it for granted for sure, but we have way more chances to win this match. So I'm going for the victory. I won't say how much. I'm going to maybe going for just. I will try. I'm going to say for 1-0 for Juventus.
1-0.
1-0, yeah. Also because Napoli needs for a victory so bad. Not only for the ranking, not only for the table, but also for the morale. And we all know, we were talking about that like some minutes ago. Everything that is against Juventus makes people happy. So when it comes to defeat Juventus or to clash against Juventus, people just wake up. So that's the nice thing of the unpredictability of this match.
But the question is, can you wake up players like Maksimovic?
Can you what?
Can you wake up a player like Maksimovic? And I don't think you can.
I think that Gattuso has all the means to do that. Like he knows how to slap people in the face, so he can do that. He should do that.
But that's exactly one of the issue that I think Napoli has. So you went from Ancelotti, which is a coach with a winning mindset, which is leaving the freedom to the players. To do what they need to do, to have to be entrepreneur basically of themselves, to train themselves, to keep themselves in line with with the athletic side, with the mental side, etc., etc. Gattuso is exactly the opposite. He's one that keeps screaming at you, is keep calling you to it keeps you to the attention of what you need to do, and that is completely the opposite. When in the past we have played like coaches like Mazzarri, Sarri, those kind of coaches are coaches that they leave you a little freedom, but they are like an hammer. They keep calling you, and that's what Napoli needs. And Napoli needs that for many reasons. For the kind of environment of the city environment, due to the kind of supporters, but also due to the fact that while you have a fog, we are going to the beach.
We don't have the beach.
Yeah, I mean, in Napoli there are like 14 degrees, and in the north there is like a -2. That makes a difference, guys. It seems like a silly stuff, but it makes a lot of difference for a person, because I will go out with 14 degrees really easily. I mean, I have a beautiful city. I don't have fog. I can see the city, actually. You cannot really see the city in Milano and in Torino.
Other people in 2 minutes.
But that's one of the reasons. But besides that, I don't see many Napoli players being the right fit for a big team. That's what I think. I feel like Maksimovic for me is an example. It's not a good player.
Just to summarize, you're saying that basically Juventus players are more focused than.
I think Napoli in this period of the year has more distractions than other cities.
Diego,
obviously,
too many excuses.
Obviously, this is not the reason why we are gonna lose. I just think that when you play with a player like Ramani, for example, I'm looking now like a preview I have in front of me. The preview, Ramani has played really a few minutes in the whole Serie A, and I believe, and I can tell you even how many minutes he played. What I think is how you manage this player. He played 290 minutes in total the whole season, and he started playing basically actually in Serie A 82 minutes in Serie A.
But
one match.
This season, all the teams. I don't know if you watch, and I'm gonna connect the story. Simeone, after the last game in the press conference, they draw, right? They are first. They are the leader they are 8 points ahead of Real Madrid and Barcelona. And they draw after many weeks. They have the best record, 51 points. And they ask him to Simeone after the conference press. So they have 9 COVID positives, injured players. And they ask him, so is this the reason why you draw 2-2 against Celta at home? He said, No, because all the teams are like us. Look at Liverpool, how many injuries? Look at Barcelona, look at Real Madrid without Ramos, without Hazard. So this season, all the teams are losing. You can never use the same 11. It's impossible. It's not going to happen until the end of the season. And he said, Simeone, if I would come now to the conference press and I would say that we lost because of the injured players and the COVID players, then I know I'm not going to win the league. Because what am I telling to my players? I know I'm going to lose. Because
Carlos,
and look at
I need to interrupt you here.
And you see, this is the difference between Simeone and Klopp. You heard what Klopp said about when they lost against Manchester City? He said, no, this year we can only be fourth of the league because the injured players. That Simeone said, no, because everybody else is having the same issues, and we are still going to try. We want to win the league. And Klopp said, no, we can only aspire to be top for this season. And this is why Roy Keane crashed Jurgen Klopp and all the Liverpool fans, Jurgen Klopp after that, because you can never say this. You can never say this. And when and to bring one more to that, when Pellegrini was the coach of Real Madrid and he said something similar like, yeah, we can aspire to be second on the league, he got fired next week because in certain teams you cannot keep on bringing those reasons. And I agree, some teams have been more damaged and killed by the injuries, but it's the COVID season, and the COVID season is going to be like this for everything.
Yeah, let me rephrase what I meant because I'm talking about something different, Carlos. I agree on that side. I mean, Juventus, they started with a lot of injury. Even they didn't have Cristiano Ronaldo. The same AC Milan, they didn't have Ibrahimovic for quite a long time. I agree on this side. What I mean is that you have a player like Ramani that has never had. Well, he had COVID in the beginning, but really in the beginning when Napoli was playing pretty well. But then during the seasons, he was not used. He was just left on the bench. And now you're finding yourself with a player that doesn't have the minutes, to play because he's not used to play. And that to me is a mistake because there is COVID. There is a calendar which is super fit. It's full of matches. And I believe giving Romani the opportunity to play 5, 7, 10 minutes here and there, it will come to this period of the season where you don't have Manolas, when you don't have Koulibaly, which is ready to play. You mentioned Atletico Madrid. Diego Costa in Atletico Madrid, he played around 290 minutes, and he's the player that played less. And then he went away. But he's first of all, he's a striker, and second of all, Romani is a center back. And today will play for the second time in a row, in the starting 11. I think that's a mistake. I think it should have been used in smaller matches. In Coppa Italia, for example, it could have been used. It could have been used against Spezia. That's a turnover.
But that's an emergency thing for Rivo Gattuso, no?
Actually, he's playing due to an emergency because if Koulibaly was obviously, if you have Koulibaly plays, but that means that you're not using the whole squad, and to me that's a really mistake.
I agree. You need to keep all the players involved because once one is out, you cannot put it back in now in the big. It's very difficult for him to perform. I agree. You have 25 players. You have to keep them attached all 25 because this season, I mean, now in the bench, the last Atletico Madrid or the last Real Madrid game, there was not a single player on the first team on the bench, only the goalkeepers. So you have 11 players to play, and then on the bench, everything is from the youth academy. Not a single player from the first team because of COVID, because of injuries. So right now you have two options, or you start putting young players like Zidane is doing, like Marvin, 17, 18-year-old players. Simeone now is taking his younger son, Giuliano Simeone. He was training this week with the team. He's 18 years old. Or you have to keep the same 11 players until they break, literally. So that's what other coaches are doing. They're putting the same 11 just because they only have 11. And then once they break, they put the one from the youth academy. So I don't know. It's a complicated season. So,
but indeed, the solution to the problem that Simeone was mentioning, I think, is in the words of Diego. So you really need to, if you have the chance to, because maybe you are not, you don't have like a squad that is super equipped for turnover. But if you have, and Napoli would say that they have, you should think about that. Like in Coppa Italia or in matches with say, weaker opposites, you should should guarantee some turnover, also to avoid the injuries in general. Because if you get injured now, then you put the squad in a really embarrassing situation.
I was literally trying to point out the different approach from coaches, basically. How
I like Simeone's approach. I think that's I would love to have that kind of approach. But we don't have it.
I think Pirlo is doing that, for example, with Farbotta, with Muratore not, but Fagioli, for example. Fagioli plays, Fagioli is there. But I have to say, he's doing that.
I have to give full credit to Pirlo for doing that. He's been very courageous so far. I mean, he deployed Frabotta as a starter on the very first match day. So Juventus is a prime example of doing some very good turnover. In Coppa Italia, I mean, they've been using a lot of players from the youth squad, from the youth academy. And look, now they are in a situation where even when they don't have the starters, and they don't have many starters on a lot of occasions, they're still extremely solid. And I mean, I agree with Diego. That's what lacked in Napoli. So you're finding yourself to face Juventus today, and your center backs, they probably played no more than, I don't know, maybe
82 minutes in total.
One of them, but Maksimovic also. Maksimovic also, he didn't play that much. So
I don't know. Who did you mention, Max? I have no idea who you're talking about. Maksimovic is really not a good player. I'm sorry because I like him. I like him as a person. I mean, I like all the Napoli players as a person. So they are good.
Good friends.
Well, actually, Maksimovic, I like him. When we won against who? We won the Coppa Italia final against Juventus. Actually, I like the way he was celebrating. I like the way he was celebrating the film. But
going back to the match of today, apart from this bullshit.
What bullshit?
But, in the attacking,
it happened for real that you lost the Coppa Italia. It happened for real.
I have Wikipedia open as well. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
I mean, in the attacking part of the squad, it's not that critical, I would say. Apart from Petagna, which is not 100% in shape, but I would say that the attacking section of Napoli is not really that bad. Like with Lozano, Insigne,
we are playing with. Should be fine.
I see one problem, and perhaps this would deserve a whole podcast itself. But my problem with Napoli is Osimhen. I mean, he's what is he doing? It's been so disappointing so far. Of course, he had a lot of issues and the COVID, and then he was partying and all that stuff. But I mean, he's not good. He's not good.
How much did you spend for that? Player?
Well, on paper, 70 something. On paper. But in reality, it was paid around 40, or less than Lozano, what I know, because
$40.
Yeah, because Napoli gave some players to Lille, so it's the balance is. I think Osimhen will come up, will pop up. It will show up in Serie A. I just really think that, like Lozano last year, he just got a really bad season. Lozano last year got a bad season, and this year he's showing to everyone that he values the money Napoli spent for him, and I'm sure Osimhen will do. Napoli will do the same with Osimhen, so you will see that. Osimhen, there is one big stuff to say. For what I know, he still really doesn't speak the language. He doesn't really have a lot of trainings with the team. But when Osimhen was playing since the beginning with Napoli, Napoli had the best defense line, the best attack, and the best play. So after the injury,
language is really not. Sorry, Diego, for interrupting you, but language is really not.
Well, it's an issue. Trust me, it's an issue when you have players like no. It can be a really big issue when you have players like Insigne on the pitch, because the communication is. It's not the first time. Well, it's not the first time that this is underlined. He doesn't even have Mertens. Mertens is the reason why Mertens is playing is that he can communicate pretty easily with Osimhen. Trust me, For it's not the first time that this is underlined,
No.
and he's just came.
Okay.
Communicate. Insigne doesn't speak anything but
Neapolitan.
Italian.
I can make you an
It's
example
difficult.
on the way around. I do recall when Verratti went to PSG, and they had an interview here in Pescara with the local TV. They say, "Are you trying to learn French?" And he said, "I can barely speak Italian." but
you're
on
talking
the
about
pitch, he
Verratti,
was speaking football. He was speaking.
Paolo,
So-
you're talking
But
about
can I tell you
Verratti.
something?
Verratti
Okay,
PSG.
Osimhen has the same kind of
Yeah,
expectation.
but
at
hold on
least.
1 second. Verratti, Ibrahimovic. So we're talking about something completely different. He's playing in PSG with 8 people that comes from Serie A. It's a completely different environment.
He's playing in Serie A, so if you
Sirigu.
fine. It's not.
I
It's
mean,
not the. I
no,
totally
it's not
agree.
gonna make it. I really
I agree with
think.
other things, but the language, no. The language, I'm sorry.
I mean, for language, for communication, Napoli has obviously communication issues on. Just look at the goal that Atalanta scored with Zapata. It's a clear communication issue between the defense line. You, on top of that, you place a person that doesn't understand anything of that communication, which is already broken. Plus, he doesn't speak Italian. With the players like Insigne, which is a lot of fire, is a lot of emotional player, and he's speaking loudly in Italian to other players.
I don't think it's an issue. You know why? Because Napoli has already a lot of diversity within the team in the past years.
I agree. I agree. It's the interpreters that is not making that easy. I'm not saying that because he doesn't speak Italian, the communication is not there. I'm saying because it's football, the ball is around it. I'm telling you that they don't communicate to each other. And the communication plus the language barrier, that breaks everything. But again, check Napoli before the injury of Osimhen and compare that after. And check the numbers with Osimhen. Napoli has had the best defense, the best strikers, and we played football. We won 6-0 against Parma, 6-1 against Genoa. We won 4-0 against Atalanta.
I think it's not only maybe a problem of language. Maybe it can somehow, I'll say, affect the environment in terms of indeed. But then I don't know. Somehow you need to find a solution for that.
Today I disagree with Diego.
I'm sorry, but really I don't see it as a
nice.
For me,
well, the Barcelona jersey is coming, Carlos. So.
No, for me, Osimhen is a potential Crotone striker, Benevento striker.
No, Carlos, I'm sure that you will change your mind. It's like Lozano. Again, same stuff.
We can bet some money on this, and we talk in a year and a half.
I already lost with Lozano. I already lost money with Lozano.
Lozano is a top player. I love.
If you check Lozano last season, he was running 5 meters and going down.
No, but this is like someone tell me now in Real Madrid there's a lot of criticism to Hazard because Hazard never reached the level of Chelsea. But you know what Hazard level is and what he can bring. But Osimhen, for me, is just not a good player. As simple as that. You can change it in a million ways. He doesn't have the technique. He just got.
Well, he doesn't have a technique. He
can learn all the languages he wants.
Yeah,
but he's still not good.
But again, Carlos, Osimhen was not playing. You can imagine, he's not Henry, he's not Trezeguet, he's not that level. We are fine on that point. I agree with you. But what is Osimhen doing for Napoli in the beginning is opening up the spaces for the shorter guys, for Politano, for Lozano, for Mertens, for Insigne. All of them were going towards the goal and scoring. Petagna doesn't have that skill. He doesn't have the skill to open up the defense line of opponents. And indeed, Napoli start shooting from outside the area, outside of the box. And a lot, like against Spezia, 30 shots, 9 in the goal, and 0 goals. With Osimhen, those numbers are completely different. Napoli is shooting from inside the area. Osimhen is serving, is doing assists. He can play for the team. That's how Gattuso built the play of the game. and Petagna couldn't do that, and as Osimhen walked away due to injury, that's what happened. Napoli stopped scoring, Napoli stopped playing forward, and etc., etc. Then whatever you can say, I'm sure you will change your mind about Osimhen.
We can bet
But he doesn't have technique. He doesn't have technique. That's 100%.
We can bet the dinner. No, he could be, because you don't. Of course, I'm not expecting a Zlatan in Osimhen, not at all. But we can bet a dinner on this in a year time.
Let's make a bet which is closer to things that are closer.
Reminds me,
like at the end of the season. Hey, let's do this. So first thing, I knew I was going to open Pandora's box with this. And this would deserve a whole episode of our bar sport.
A whole week.
But yeah, let's make a bet. So how many goals or assists or both do you think Osimhen is going to provide to Napoli until the end of the season?
I wouldn't go there. This season, I think this season is going to stay like this. It's like last year, Lozano.
He's scared to bet.
No, I'm not scared to bet. This season, I'm telling you, wait for the next season. I'm seriously saying, give him a full season. And he doesn't have a full season. He started with a team where they are fighting between each other. We have Maximovic in 6 months.
Listen, next season we can bet on how many goals Osimhen will score in Crotone. This season we have to bet how many goals.
No, Osimhen reminds me one player that played for Juventus. That Juventus seemed to be like a crock, which was Thierry Henry, and then he went to a the perfect environment for him, and he only won a couple of cups with the national team. I don't remember which cups. I don't want to remind that to Italians those kind of cups. So I don't want to compare him to Thierry Henry. Of course, he's not Thierry Henry, but Thierry Henry in Juventus had exactly the same issue that Osimhen is having with Napoli. He had a terrible season, Thierry Henry, in Juventus.
Yeah, but
he was there one season, right?
Yeah, but we got rid of him. I think too much.
Like Roberto Carlos, for example, for Inter. There are a lot of players that they became champions in Italy. The first season were whatever.
By the way, for Osimhen, there are only 2 goals on his scoreboard on 8 matches. So if it's gonna be employed a bit more. But hopefully for Diego, no.
Check also how many goals Napoli scored.
He will barely. I will say he would barely reach 10 goals until the end of the year.
No, I don't think so.
If he still plays like this,
I hope so, but I don't think so.
But is he going to?
I would barely reach. So I'm not sure.
Are they going to have that patience in Napoli to give him 1 year? That's my question. Do you think next year he will? Because probably next year Gattuso will not be there anymore.
They spend a lot of money. I don't know.
We gave it to Lozano. I gave almost 5 years to Maximo. We should.
So, it still doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Sounds like
I don't think he's a champion. I don't think Osimhen is a champions player. I don't think he is one of those players that wow. No, that's not. I agree, Carlos. But I think he will do much more.
Because Napoli, the right thing that Napoli did in the last season, and I compare this again with Atletico, is like they were always very good buying strikers at number 9, right? With Higuain, with Cavani. So they always have that one shot that also Atletico Madrid did that historically, right? With Christian Vieri, with Hasselbank, with Forlan. They always have a good striker, with Diego Costa even. And now Luis Suarez. So in Napoli, they always have that number 9 that was holding the team. And I think now is the first time that there's not this number 9.
Second time, I would say.
So, or second time. But
yeah. Because Milik for us was
actually
injuries, a lot of injuries, but also Milik was not really loved.
Not really bad, I would say.
That technique, Milik has a fantastic technique. He has a really fantastic technique, yes. But
so it's time for forecast, guys. So, Diego, I told mine. You have to say yours.
I have a winning mindset. I think Napoli will win tonight. Actually, not tonight, in the afternoon. But I always hope that. I mean, it's just bad luck. So you can not even say what you want, but I don't agree with you, Paolo.
I said that we are going to win 1-0.
I don't agree with you. I really disagree with you.
Okay.
I'm going to go with mine. Since I'm neutral, I'm going to go with mine. I wish for Napoli to make it, honestly, because that would help AC Milan in the standing, but it's going to be an easy one for Juve. 2-0 Juve or 3-1.
Okay, then I will WhatsApp you the real score, I think.
Okay.
No.
I was going to say 1-3 Juve also, but Matteo, you take 0-2, I take 1-3.
So we can get one beer from Diego, each of us, next week.
I actually need to speed up the Barcelona jersey to come. I really need to speed up that. I have
I'm with Napoli tonight, you know that. But now without the fans is a huge factor. Like we talked in the last four episodes.
That's also true.
Without the fans is not. It doesn't matter if you play in this stadium or anywhere else. It's without the fans is a different story.
Well, for Napoli especially, that's true. For Napoli especially, that's true.
Yeah.
I think also for Juventus, the stadium, indeed.
Yeah, but maybe more for Napoli, because Napoli, as you always say, it's
the
12th.
It's
the 12th player. It's a 12th player, right? Yep.
Okay,
well, guys,
so
time is,
I hope Rabiot tonight will be. Sorry, Matteo.
I was just saying, unfortunately, time is almost up today, because you know what? The Serie is gonna start again. We didn't do the quiz, so you know what we're gonna do today? We're gonna place it on our social media. So anybody that wants to take a pic and a guess at our mysterious team, you can do it on Instagram, you can do it on Facebook, on Twitter, and since you're there, perhaps you can also give us a like or things like that. And don't Google, of course. And that's it for this podcast. We're gonna be talking again about Osimhen. In the future, we didn't even mention that tomorrow Inter is going to play Lazio. That's a big one. So now we're going to have both Lazio supporters and Inter supporters coming at us. But we're going to make up for it next week. So thanks for being with us today, guys. And speak soon. I'm going to, Mami Carlos kiss and giving. Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Hey, guys.
I love you.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.